Hello my loves, it's your girl Kristen Marie here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm so excited to dive into this video with you because it will be officially my last video of 2024. I'm going to be taking a little break next week to enjoy my holiday with my family and just give myself some time to rest and revamp for this coming new year. I'm so excited to continue to share with you my journey and assist you in any way that I can here on this channel. I wanted to call this episode How to Build Momentum for 2025, and these are just some things that I have been personally doing for the last month or month and a half to just ensure that I have a successful start to 2025. If you've been following me for a little bit now, you're already ahead of the game, but it's okay if today you're tuning in for the first time in a little while. I'm so glad that you're here. Be sure to grab your pen and paper because we're actually going to be doing some exercises in this video that I want you to follow along with me and actually do them while you're watching this video, because if you don't do it now, I'm not sure if you will in the future. So get ready to put that pen on paper and take some notes. Without further ado, let's get into these tips. So a quick shout out first to our partner in this video, AACP, Associated Skincare Professionals. They offer liability insurance for solo estheticians, beauticians. They cover even permanent makeup artists, cosmetologists, you name it, in all 50 states in the United States. And for 12 months, they will cover you up to $2 million in liability insurance, and they also have an add-on called the business property insurance policy. And that's going to cover you up to $10,000 of product, equipment, all of the things that you have accumulated for your business can be protected under that policy in case of a theft, of a natural disaster, maybe you have a flood. I mean, it can happen, trust me. I've heard it all, and I am so glad, and I know I'm at peace knowing that I have AACP to cover me. And not only are they an insurance company, but they also provide resources for you to tap into. As soon as you sign up for a policy, you have access to your portal, which will give you access to resources like their career building tools, their online community to search for jobs, to post jobs, to also get state board updates, and most importantly, continuing education resources. They have hundreds of videos on demand ready for you to watch that they have posted on there to help further your education as an esthetician. And so I'm super grateful for that resource. Thank you again, AACP. You guys have been covering me for the past 4+ years, and you haven't steered me wrong just yet. So be sure to use my link down below for a little discount on your policy. I promise you, you will not regret this decision. So now we are going to be diving into the meat of this video. Thank you so much for continuing to watch. The first thing I want you to write down on your piece of paper, I want you to open up your notebook to a page like this, one side blank and the other one blank as well. And write on the first page here things that I accomplished in 2024. I think that it's super, super important to acknowledge what you have accomplished, because I think it's easy for us to get caught up in what we haven't accomplished. We forget to acknowledge the things that we did achieve this year. So I want you to take some time to give yourself that acknowledgement. Be proud of yourself for even just the littlest things. Maybe go and evaluate how many clients you had in 2023 versus 2024 and see if there was some growth there. It's really important to know specifics about your business and to know kind of your progress. So take some time to really look at your booking software. Usually it can give you a summary, even if it is gaining one more new client last year, or there's maybe a new treatment that you learned last year. Or it doesn't have to be work related. It could be anything that you are proud that you did in 2024. So pause the video right here if you need to take some time to write those down. Now I want you to write on the other side the lessons that you learned in 2024. So this is really a time to reflect on maybe some things that maybe you could have done differently, or you wish you did more of, or made time for, and this kind of will tie into your goals for 2025. What do you want to carry with you into 2025 to work on or improve on? And so it's really important too as well to acknowledge those things. Take the time to pause the video if you need to write those down. I want you to also reflect on what habits are you leaving in 2024, because maybe there's, again, some things that you participated in or didn't participate in. I know for me, I felt like I, for a while, have been neglecting just like my own health and well-being. Actually took the time to make some phone calls that I haven't made, I've been needing to make for so long, to schedule like just a primary care visit with my doctor, to get my teeth looked at, because I do need to get my wisdom teeth extracted this year. I've been putting that off. So, you know, there's certain things that I think you need to look at that you're like, okay, I need to make time and prioritize these things. And I think we get so focused on our career sometimes and our families and other things that we forget about ourselves. So those are some of the things that I did so far. I literally took a morning off to make those phone calls and like look at what things I needed to do for like my own personal well-being. So what habits do you want to leave behind? What habits do you also want to carry into 2025? And also too, like, I want you to think about habits that like your higher self would participate in. So if your higher self like gets up at 5 in the morning and makes a smoothie and works out and meditates, like, put that on your list of habits that you want to carry into 2025, because that's really what I've been focusing on a lot lately too, is like what would this person be doing? Like my higher self. Like I named my channel obviously Journey to Becoming a 7-Figure Esthetician. I've successfully accomplished 6, and I know some of you maybe watching are wanting to accomplish 6. So maybe go and look at some of the things that I do or other 6-figure earners are doing. Implement those into your routine and your habits, because if that's what you want to achieve, you need to start implementing behaviors and mindsets of a person who is earning 6 figures or 7 figures. So I have been on the journey of trying to implement certain things and habits of somebody who is earning the type of money that I want to earn. Another thing that me and Kristen actually did last week was we set some time aside in our calendar to go and grab lunch together. It was kind of like a dual birthday celebration for her because her birthday's coming up. But I told her I wanted to just like have a sit down and just go over what we were planning for 2025 and just our goals and really anything. I like to touch base with her often, but we hadn't had like a sit down in a minute. We went to go and get some hot pot and we enjoyed a meal together and we caught up, and yeah, we just really reflected again on these things that I told you. Like, what were the things, I asked her the same questions, like what were the things you felt you accomplished, what you want to work on. And then we actually opened up our phones and calendars. So for you, if it's a planner or your phone, open those up and at least plan out your next quarter. I had told her when I first wanted to sit down, I was like, let's plan the whole year together, which I do want you to think about the year in the entirety as well, because if you just think about the first 3 months, then you may not be prepared for the other things that are coming later on in the year. So we did talk about the whole year, but what we actually physically put in our calendars was for the next 4 months, because I mean, both of our lives are busy, especially mine, and I'm not really sure what my schedule is going to look like in 6 months, but I know for sure for the next 3 or 4 months, like what I'm doing. So that's just for me personally. If you know your schedule for the whole year, then feel free to do this for the whole year. But what we did is we took the time to make appointments in our schedule for the things that I feel are essential. Like they're up there with actually working on clients. And of course, both of our goals, I mean, especially Kristen, that I want her to get more booked, right? We want more clients. So the things that I feel like you need to do to get more clients are as follows. You want to make sure that you're setting aside time in your calendar to film, to create content. And that not only will be you filming, but it's also you taking the time to edit, to do your research as well, because it's not enough to just set aside time to film. You also have to be a little strategic with it and make sure that you are making the time to be in a creative space, to edit the content, and then also to come up with the caption and there's so many things that go into a single post. Make the time for that, but specifically time to film will be probably the most important thing to put in your calendar. So I would suggest at least once a week, if not every other week, cutting out maybe an hour or two of time, like as if you were setting aside time for a client to film, to do content, to work on, even if it is editing, but specifically to film. And if you need to, gather models, then you have time to coordinate for that. So me and Kristen, we agreed on the both of us making the time for each other and helping each other film would be twice a month. So we're gonna do one chunk of time where we work on models and we have people come in and they know like this isn't gonna be like a calm, soothing facial service. This is gonna be specifically for filming. And I know some of you have asked like what my filming setup is. I'll be sure to make a video about that. I did make a video a while ago about my facial setup, but it has changed a little bit. Filming during like kind of a modeling session versus in a service is a bit different. So I realized that the type of content, the quality content that I want to start putting out there more consistently will require like more lighting, microphones, like a whole setup. I want to have intentional time for that in this coming year and punch out content that just like wows the viewers and draws people in, because I am seeing a lot of you estheticians are stepping up your game, and so I've been encouraged to step up my game and be consistent. And so I told Kristen like this is gonna draw in more people, hands down. Like social media has been one of my #1 tools for bringing in clientele, and we are busy, but I think we could get more busy. So that's our goal. And Kristen and I like went over her goals specifically. I did make a video a long time ago about how to set your goals and how to get specific with it. Be sure to watch that video. I know it's a bit of an older video, but the info is still the same, and I still create my goals with that same outline. So I had Kristen do that, and now we know like specifically like how many clients she wants, how much money she wants to make, and what that looks like in her schedule. We set aside that time to film together because it's been a little while too since we filmed skits together. I know our audiences really like seeing us in videos together and having fun, and I actually really enjoy doing the skits and stuff. So focus on the type of content that like you purely enjoy as well. So set aside time to do like service type content, and then do other content that you find you enjoy doing more as well. So we put those in our calendar for the next 4 months. We have specific time blocks for that. We also put in our calendar another touch base for the following quarter. So we planned that for I think like mid-early March, because I don't want to wait till the very end of the quarter to plan out the next quarter. So just another touch base where again we set aside maybe like half a day to go and get something to eat, sit down, open up our notebooks again, and just touch base, see how the quarter went, what our goals are for the next quarter. And then we also put in our calendar our facial appointments with each other. So maybe your to-do also is to find an esthetician that you feel comfortable going to besides yourself, because I do feel like being able to lay down and get a service and have someone care for you is equally as important as what we tell our clients to do and why they come to us. So pre-book those appointments if possible. If you find somebody, or maybe hopefully you have an SD bestie that you can exchange services with, I highly encourage you to schedule your appointments. And I think really where we were able to see success with that was because we've been doing that with our peel series that we've been doing. We've been testing out the Skin Script peel series that requires like multiple services. So her and I just went and like scheduled our facials for like the next 2 months, and we found that that was really helpful to do, to just put it in the calendar. So again, we're making sure we're going to be on top of our skincare for the next 4 months, and then at our next meeting we'll schedule out our next 4 months worth of appointments as well. So prioritize that, because again, you are your walking billboard. People will look at your skin and want to hear your own testimonies and what treatments you're trying and what you've enjoyed using and not enjoyed using. I feel like when I'm able to speak from that place, people really take me a lot more seriously when I can speak from my own experience. Okay, so another thing that I want you to write down is, what is one more commitment you promise to fulfill before the end of the year? Maybe there's something that you've been meaning to do all year that you've been putting off. only you know what that is. Like I said, for me, it was like I had been avoiding scheduling my wisdom teeth extraction consultation. I had been putting off scheduling just a physical appointment with my doctor. You know, it's more like personal care stuff, but for you it could be, I mean, a variety of things. But what's one thing that you are gonna make sure that you do before the end of the year? So I want you to reflect on that. What are your like main 3 goals for 2025? Because I know usually the list is very long, right? If you watch my other video, there's like 4 or 5 categories that you write your goals for, and it can get a little overwhelming. So I want you to think about just like, and nothing else gets done, like what are the 3 things that you for sure want to accomplish next year and that you can put your focus to? I think one of the biggest tips that I've received recently listening to a podcast was how to be more productive. And I found that I would like start a project and then like not finish it and then move on to the next and not finish that one. And so I feel like a lot of us struggle with that. I have learned to only put things on my to-do list that are like essential and priority to get done and to actually complete it before moving on to the next. So that's why I'm telling you, come up with 3 specific to-dos for the year that if no matter what gets accomplished, like you're gonna do those 3 things for sure. And you can break them into like bite-sized pieces. I would recommend breaking it down by like steps. Like, okay, if your goal is to come out with an online course or something, then you need to put in your calendar, okay, here's my sit down where I'm going to actually plan out like the outline of the course. Here's when I'm going to actually film the course. Here's when I'm going to actually put together the manual or the ebooks that go with it. Like, make specific to-dos to accomplish that to-do list. And it could be broken down by day, by week, by month, but just make a step-by-step action plan to accomplish that goal. And then that way, if you accomplish just even those 3 things, you're gonna feel so much more satisfied, and that's gonna keep you motivated to keep going. And I realize even just doing that on a daily and weekly basis where I just really prioritize certain things and I'm like, hey, even if I don't get to everything, if I accomplish like 2 things, I'll be satisfied, because I realized I was getting really frustrated with myself when like I wasn't accomplishing every little thing on my to-do list. But sometimes it's okay to just accomplish 1 or 2 things. It's better than nothing, right? So make that short list of the things that no matter what, these are the things that you want to accomplish next year. And I promise you that they will get done, because you'll feel a little less overwhelmed when you think about 1 to 3 things versus 10 things, right? So keep that in mind. Another thing that I took the time to do, and I know I've mentioned this before in other videos, is cleansing your social media. I've been really learning like the law of attraction and manifestation, all that is very similar to how our social media is programmed. The algorithm of our social media is programmed to the things that we focus on. So look at what your social media page looks like right now in your For You page or your feed. Like, what kind of videos are popping up? If there's anything that's popping up that's like not serving your purpose. A while ago I told you I unfollowed a lot of like celebrity pages and gossip type pages and anybody that I didn't feel like was, I don't know, adding to my happiness or my goals. So really take some time to like look through your feed and be like, okay, why is this popping up in my feed? Like, am I talking about that? Am I thinking about that? And I would suggest too, in the same way of like cleansing your feed and, you know, going and unfollowing certain accounts that maybe you don't even interact with anymore, just taking up space, or maybe there's some friendships or people you just haven't talked to in a long time. And I know it's a touchy subject because it's like, well, I don't want to offend anybody, but at the same time, like, we are focused on the things that are feeding us and helping us grow in 2025. So I feel like this is the year to just be like, hey, you know what, I'm focused on myself, and if we haven't added to each other's lives, then what's the point, you know? Look at who you're following and also what other accounts you can follow. Is there certain accounts that will inspire you more, that will motivate you? Like, so go and just do some deep diving into your social media accounts and just make sure that it is in coordination with like where you're headed. And then last tip I'm going to leave you with is to just reevaluate your financials and just make sure that you are preparing for tax season coming up. I know it's still in a few months from now, but it's coming faster than you think. So the sooner you can go and upload your receipts and make your new goals for the year, I definitely highly recommend that you evaluate that as soon as possible. That way you're going into 2025 knowing your action plan for your finances. And so I have a meeting set up to meet with a new accountant. So I'm going to be hiring an accountant for this coming year. I obviously already have like a tax person, but I think having an accountant is going to be really helpful too. Someone who can like really look at everything and make a plan, and we can be on the same page. So I'll check her out and let you know if it works out, and I'll definitely give you her information, because yeah, I met her through a friend of mine, and I love supporting other women-owned businesses. So I'll be sure to give you that. Again, there's so much more coming in 2025. You guys don't even understand. I'm so excited. So stay in touch, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys back here in 2025, and I can't wait until then. I love you so much. Stay safe, and I'll see you then. Bye.